Yeah, but just the Bank Nifty, Aisha, relative outperformance, because unlike the Nifty, the Bank Nifty is still trading above the 20-day moving average. So while it has gone off a bit, but marginal outperformance out there, if you look at the relative basis, the Bank Nifty versus the Nifty, so just keep that in mind. Banks are in news today. Of course, they'll see some pressure, but a marginal bit of outperformance for the Bank Nifty compared to the Nifty. But no outperformance from crude. That continues to slide lower. We may have an odd day of a bounce in crude, but otherwise, it typically tends to go down. Now, while too much of a fall may not be positive for the economy at large, for individual companies, it could well be a big kicker. Is it for Finolex Industries? That's something that we find out from Prakash Chhabria. He's Executive Chairman at Finolex Industries. He joins us on the show from Pune. Good having you, Mr. Chhabria. Thanks so much for joining in. Now, as I understand, of course, you are amongst the largest manufacturers for PVC pipes and resins in the country. Tell us how the slide in crude prices in the past 3 months have impacted you.
Well, crude prices always keep fluctuating during the day, during the month, quarter on quarter. And crude price fluctuation, if it is gradual, going down gradually or coming up gradually, is fine. You can pass it on to the system and you can absorb the bumps, no problem. But when crude falls sharply, it causes a lot of pain. And causes a lot of pain in a couple of reasons. It has to cause pain for the inventory, because the inventory that we carry or anybody carries is of a higher price, whereas the crude prices have fallen sharply. If the raw material price falls, the finished product price also has to fall. So that margins get narrowed during that time, A. And B, the buyers of pipes will not buy a pipe because they'll waiting for corrections to happen. They have a certain period of time that they can wait till, not forever, but so that wait also causes further inventory carry, loss of sale, and another waiting period of the trough. Long term, as you will see, once the prices have stabilized, because crude or any commodity has to stabilize, so once the plateau has reached on the trough, all that will happen is the market will boom up, because the buyers who have been waiting with the pent-up demand will go and start buying, A. B, that will also drive the prices up, and that is the up cycle which will then benefit the company.
So, Mr. Chhabria, has any benefit flown through so far on an operating level for you? Because the Q2 numbers were pretty disappointing.
Well, it's not going to benefit yet because, crude is still correcting. So as it keeps going down, it's still going to hit the bottom line. So actually the third quarter is also not going to be great because the drop still continues. Once the crude plateaus and starts going up is when the effect will come in, when the kicker will come in.
Okay. So if you can actually just tell us what's the impact on margins for you as a company for every say $2 or $5 decline in crude prices?
I cannot give a direct nexus because there is a time lag. See, there is crude, from crude you come to ethylene, ethylene to VCM, EDC, PVC. The chain is long. So the raw material chain is long, but the crude effect is visible to everybody. So the buyers of PVC and PVC pipe relate directly to crude, even though there's a time lag. So the $2 or $10 per ton or per barrel of crude, there's no direct nexus to it. But the psychology of the buyer shows to him that there is a correction happening, raw materials are going down, PVC price has to go down, why don't I wait?
Okay, so let me put it this way. Let's assume that crude prices stay at these levels for the next 12 months. Monsoon may have its impact on the top line, but on the operational front, after the next 12 months, if crude prices stay at where they are, will you be in a much better operational scenario than what you were, say, last quarter?
Oh, definitely. If crude prices stabilize at this range for the next 12 months, if you can predict that, yes, then definitely all I can say, the company will outperform all the quarters ever before.
Okay, got it. Now that we've focused on the operational front, what about the top line? The monsoon wasn't the best and it was mixed for different companies. How do you think your next couple of quarters look like?
No, I don't go out so into many quarters again, because like I said, if crude plateaus out now, then my next quarter is going to be a brilliant quarter already. But I cannot give you predictions on crude because that's a huge subject.
No.
And we are not equipped.
I'm not talking about crude right now, Mr. Chhabria. I'm talking about your top line growth as a result of monsoon, not crude. Monsoon wasn't the best.
The monsoon effect did last. Nilofer did come in during the third quarter. So the Nilofer effect did cause a top line reduction for us, which will be effective in the third quarter too. And once the crude prices come down, raw material price comes down, PVC price also has to come down. And once I sell a lower price of PVC, even though the tonnage is the same or tonnage is more, the top line will show a reduction only because of the finished prices.
So what kind of growth numbers are you aiming for or targeting, say, for the next 1 to 2 years?
For the 1 to 2 years, again, going back to crude and everything, I think demand-wise, India has a huge pent-up demand. Now, going back to our traditional markets of agriculture, that will continue forever because as long as human beings require to drink water or eat food, you always have to have pipes. You always have to carry water from A to B. And I'm hoping it's always going to be a Finolex pipe. So that is a traditional business. Now, if you see our new government has come out, our Prime Minister Modi ji has come out with new incentives which will drive the pipe demand further. What is it? For example, 100 new smart cities. What are 100 new smart cities? They are places for people to live. And if humans are going to live over there, they will again require water in the form for drinking as well as eating. Again, it's Finolex pipes. So this is a brand new demand which is coming out. There are many more demand sectors which are opening up. So all these things, if you'll see, are going to help the growth of pipes.
Okay, Mr. Chhabria, we wish you all the best. We do hope there is some certainty on crude prices for you to be able to plan your operational picture better as well. Thanks so much for joining in today. That's Prakash Chhabria of Finolex saying that while the top line numbers may correct because of the MRP prices of PVC pipes coming off, but they'll be in a much better picture operationally if crude were to sustain or base out at these levels. So just watch out for that. But I think insurance was probably the bigger story. Insurance, banks, sugar maybe, but insurance the bigger story over the last 24 to 48 hours.
Oh yes, and I think it's going to be the bigger story wherein there will be tremendous value unlocking, and it's a story which is just about beginning to play out. So let's focus on exactly that. And joining us right now is Chandan Mitra, Head of Insurance Parliamentary Committee. Mr. Mitra, hi, morning. Tell us more on the recommendations of composite foreign cap of 49%. Will this be via FIPB route, and will it require any further approvals by the government authorities?
Well, you know, as of now, even in the 26% is basically, it was a composite